Hey guys, welcome to your next video. Go ahead and write the objective and essential question down. Pause the video if you need to do so. So these problems are going to be a little different than the normal two-step equation problems that we may have worked on today. These are a little more tricky. These have the variable in the numerator of a fraction. So normally our first step is to undo the addition or subtraction, and then go ahead and divide or multiply whatever the inverse operation is. But on these three specific problems, the first step is going to be to undo the multiplication or division. And then the second step is to undo the addition or subtraction. So I'm going to do these in two different colors. Your first step will be in blue, second step will be in orange. So let's go ahead and look at number one. Make sure you write this down in your notebook. It's x plus 11 over 8 equals -3. So our first step says undo the multiplication or division. So this is what I'm talking about when I say undo the multiplication or division. It's this 8 right here. So we need to somehow get this 8 off this side of the equation. So remember, this, you can look at this equation as two different parts right here. So this is one part and this is the other part. And what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So to get rid of this divided by 8, we're going to do the inverse, which would be multiply by 8. So once we multiply by 8, that cancels that out. But what we do to one side, we do to the other. So we're going to multiply by 8 on this side. So now I'll rewrite the equation, and that would be x plus 11 equals, and that's -3 times 8, so a negative times a positive is a negative, and that'll be -24. So now our next step is to undo the addition or subtraction. So to undo the addition or subtraction, you have to do the inverse operation. Remember, the inverse is the opposite. So we have addition, so we're going to subtract 11, and that cancels that out. And what you do to one side, you do to the other. So we're going to subtract 11 from this side. Now, we have a -24 and a -11. So technically that absolute value is going to be higher than 24. So this number is actually going to be a negative number, and it's going to be -24 minus 11. So it's going to go further away from 0. It's going to go further down the number line. So -24 minus 11 is actually -35. Okay, because same signs add and keep. We have a negative and a negative. Same signs add and keep. So we kept the negative, added them together. So now that's x equals -35. So let's go on to the next one. We have 4 equals n plus 8 over 9. So once again, our first step here is to undo the multiplication or division. So we'll go ahead and do that by multiplying 9. And what you do to one side, you do to the other. So this is one side of the equation, and that cancels that out, and now you have to multiply by 9 on this side. So now you have 9 times 4 equals n plus 8. And we know that 9 times 4 equals 36. So we'll do 36 equals n plus 8. So now we go on to step 2, which is undo the addition or subtraction. Here we have addition, so it's adding 8. So we're going to do the inverse, which is subtracting 8. Those cancel out. Subtract 8 from 36, and that'll give you 28. So your answer is just n equals 28. And for the last one, once again, we're going to draw this line to separate the two sides of the equation. And our first step is undo the multiplication or division. So here we have divided by -2. So remember, you are taking this entire number right here, this whole -2, and you are going to do the inverse because you're dividing right here, so you have to multiply it to get rid of it. So it's multiplying by -2. And so now let's rewrite the equation. It's n minus 5 equals -7 times -2. We know that -7 times -2 is a negative times a negative is a positive. So that will be positive 14. And so now we have n minus 5 equals positive 14. And our last step is to undo the addition or subtraction. So the addition or subtraction is right here, and this is a subtraction, so we got to do the inverse, which would be addition. So that would be adding 5, adding 5. So that cancels out, and now 14 plus 5 is 19, so n equals 19. I hope this helped you guys out, and if you've looked closely, these questions are actually in that packet that I gave you today. So if you hadn't done those 4 problems, those are due, those last 4 that say watch out, those are actually due tomorrow, meaning Friday, I guess that's November 31st. So, or Friday, December 1st, actually. So those are due tomorrow, Friday, December 1st. So if you haven't done those, do those. Here's 3 of them. So I hope you guys have a good day.